Hello and welcome to the Metaverse Insider's interview series. My name is Josh, and in today's episode, we cover part 2 of our conversation with Leslie Shannon, the head of trend and innovation scouting for Nokia. In this interview, we discuss the importance of collaboration and partners in the metaverse space. So, Leslie, to resume our conversation, could you tell us a bit more about the potential partners that you're currently working with?
Okay, we do work with a lot of names that you have heard of, but
Okay.
I frankly don't know which ones of these are public or not, so I think it's probably better if I don't mention anything. But let's just say that all of the players from a hardware, software, chipset, headset, because it's so end-to-end, no one piece works on its own. We're all talking to each other, and we're all working together to make sure that this goes forward. It's in all of our interests, and so yeah, so we're all there. If you can imagine some of the names, yeah, we're probably working with them. As I said before, there's no one company that built the internet. There is no one company building the metaverse. And even for individual projects, metaverse projects, we're finding that you need a mosaic of players in order to bring things into life because okay, so we're the ones who can make sure that the networks has the guaranteed performance for a particular product or service related to the metaverse. But then you've got the hardware manufacturer, then you have say probably somebody doing the AR coding, then you've probably got an operator whose network it is, and in whose network you've actually got the servers sitting, and you probably have a mapping component as well. So you're dealing with a mapping company. So the projects that we're looking at, they tend to have 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Now, back 20 years ago, I ran a development lab for Nokia, and this was back in the early 3G days, so like really primitive stuff by today's standards. But what I learned firsthand then is whenever we had more than 2 entities working together, so 3, 4, 5, it became an absolute nightmare. Not from a technical point of view. The technical guys, you can always figure out what to do. You can always figure out how to solve this or find a workaround or whatever. From a business point of view, somebody's set of lawyers ends up being a jerk and the whole project gets scuppered. So one of the really key success factors going forward in this metaverse world is going to be business agility. Business agility, the ability to work with multiple partners at once, and a win-win mindset, not a win-lose mindset. The ones with a win-lose mindset are themselves going to end up losing because we need partners so much. If you screw the guys that you're working with, word is going to get out fast. No one's going to work with you, and you're dead in the water. So yeah, so this is one of the things that I tell our customers as yes, do focus on your technical ability, but also focus on your business agility. And if it means that you, as a very large company, need to spin off a small company to be more agile, to build your metaverse stuff, do it. Because, old and slow is not going to get anybody very far in this particular world.
Fantastic. It's very interesting to say. Never really heard people speak about it from a perspective of business agility. It's quite a nice angle.
Yeah, it's well, and I think another thing is that large companies need to learn to be humble here, because a lot of the really important new technology and a lot of the important developments are coming from the smaller companies, the more
Mhm.
agile companies, and big companies are used to like, hey, I'm the 600-pound gorilla, I get my way. No, if you behave that way, again, nobody's going to want to play with you. And there are multiple options for every aspect of the metaverse. So it's going to be the ones who don't throw their weight around, and particularly the ones that work well with the smaller companies, that lift up smaller companies rather than trying to crush the life out of them, that are going to be the ones that set the scene for long-term success.
Brilliant. So many people have different opinions on this, and it's quite a long frame. So, in the next 5 years, what can you imagine to be the outcome of what you guys are currently working towards at Nokia?
Ooh, you know what? If you were to ask me that question, except with a 10-year time frame, it would be a much easier way. That would
Okay.
be a much easier answer. Okay, yeah. So 10 years from now, I really fully expect for us to have um, augmented reality headsets that look very much like regular, normal eyeglasses, um, that uh, that that do not, you know, flood us with digital, inputs, but rather highly contextually aware, that give us information and context aware information and entertainment as we request it and no more, but that actually fulfills a lot of the things that we ask our smartphones to do right now. And the benefit of this is it solves the problem that we have right now. That's not widely acknowledged as a problem, but a problem it is, of having our gaze dead ending in a two-dimensional screen. That's a problem because we're not looking into the eyes of the people with us anymore. We're not paying attention to our surroundings anymore. We're all stuck in our screens. And look, we lose a hand too. We've not only lost our eyes, we lost our hand. And so getting our gaze back, reconnecting with our surroundings while we have both hands free, magic, magic. So and just a super simple example of this, which doesn't, well, anyway, I have a bird ID. Cornell University Merlin bird ID is a great bird song identifier. And I love when I'm out walking my dog, like I hear a bird say, oh, what kind of bird is that? So I've got one hand with my leash, for my dog, I get the other one and I've got to like scroll to the thing and I have to click on it and then like I get the bird. Okay, and if my dog is seeing a squirrel at the same time, it's like impossible. And so again, okay, first world problem, I know. But but instead, I have these glasses, and then whatever the interface mechanism is, it might be voice, it might be gesture, it's probably going to be micro gesture. But to be able to just walking along, like, hey glasses, what bird is that right now? And then I get, some kind of either written or spoken, like, oh, that's a red-winged blackbird. Oh, great, fantastic. Having that access capability, but even more so, and here's where it gets exciting. Adding generative AI, this is where it really is truly going to be mind-blowing. Okay, so again, I'm out walking my dog, and I live near the end of the runway of San Jose Airport. I see a plane taking off, and I'm like, oh, I wonder where that plane is going, which is something that goes through my mind all the time as I see the planes coming out of San Jose Airport. And so coming up with a question like that, and so saying, okay, glasses, write me a program, right? Write me a program that searches this public database, like, I don't know, identify my flight, whatever, because public database is about flights, that connects that program, and you do a visual recognition on the livery of that plane and connect it to that database and tell me where that plane is going that just took off that I can see right now. And then it writes the program for you because, generative AI writing language, that's fine. It's coding that is the magic mushroom here, and giving people the democratized access to coding on the fly through their glasses, so that you can write the programs that you need as they occur to you. That's where we're going in 10 years. But there's a lot of things that need to fall into place for that to happen, and I'm not sure how much of that will be in place after 5 years.
Very interesting. The whole concept is just quite phenomenal, isn't it?
It is, and it doesn't happen without the networks. It doesn't happen without the good connection from your headset to fast computers not very far away from you. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Nokia is very much on track to achieving this.
You're standing on the shore of the sea and you're looking out and the ocean looks smooth. But underneath, there's all these little, okay, sea elves maybe, and they're building Atlantis, and there's going to be this day when this, like, golden spired city rises from the waves, and and everybody goes, whoa, where did that come from? Well, it's not just Nokia, it's a lot of companies that are toiling under the waves to build this beautiful golden city, and when it emerges from the sea, it's really going to be something spectacular. Sure, you can have your shopping with a digital avatar in a digital three-dimensional world, but that is nothing compared to what we're actually seeing coming. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And so, in the next 1 or 2 years, quite a small time frame, can we expect to see anything from Nokia? Is there anything exciting to be released or announced?
Ooh, okay. See, the short-term time frame is actually really tough, especially because we are still focused on the standards work. I'd say publicly, from a consumer point of view, probably not. We'll have some really excellent private connectivity and private things for enterprise. The problem with working with digital twins and of course, training and all of these wonderful things that are already happening in the enterprise world. The problem is that when things are happening in the enterprise world, there's not that much visibility. If something is really good, then an enterprise tends not to talk about it because it's a it's a competitive advantage. And yeah, so we will be doing things in there, but it probably may or may not be so public. That's part of our issue. But the full flowering of this is going to be the consumer world that happens down the line. So yeah, so that's the prize that we have our eyes on.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, that's a wrap for part 2 of our conversation with Leslie Shannon, the head of trend and innovation scouting at Nokia. Be sure to stay tuned for weekly updates in the industry and content concerning all things Metaverse. Follow the Metaverse Insider on Twitter and LinkedIn, and visit metaverseinsider.tech for all our content. Thank you very much for joining us, and until next time.